Oh, shit!
Hey! Thank you for tuning in for this recap of the game MDK2. In this video we will be completing the entire game, and recapping most of the levels and the story of the game. This video turned out to be much longer than expected. The game only has 10 stages, but man, they are long stages. We will start up with the intro of the game, so we get some backstory. But before that, I've made a little challenge. I've hidden 3 Dreamcast logos somewhere in the video. Let me know if you find them, and I'll be back after the intro.
Kurt Hectic never wanted to be a hero. He was content with his life, and wanted to live out his years in quiet, dignified anonymity. Sadly, it was not to be. Kurt was employed as a janitor for Dr. Fluke Hawkins, eccentric man of science. The messes were large, but the pay was good, so when Hawkins left, Kurt followed. Little did he know what was to come. The doctor had wished for a place away from his detractors, away from those that thought him mad. With janitor in tow, he left the earth, vowing to return only when his genius was proven. The greatest of the doctor's inventions in exile was the 6-legged canine, Max. Max was the perfect assistant, and his appreciation of firepower made him a fine watchdog as well. All was peaceful until the invasion. Aliens from a strange dimension attacked the Earth, arriving on energy streams and landing great mine crawlers to destroy everything in their path. The forces of Earth were helpless before the onslaught. Dr. Hawkins had to act. Kurt was outfitted in an untested coil suit and sent to try and disable the machines. He was reluctant, but he had no choice. He was the Earth's last hope. Kurt fought valiantly, driving to the very heart of the invasion. There he challenged the alien leader, a grotesque creature named Gunter Glutt, and with Max's aid, Kurt was victorious. As their leader fell, the invasion crumbled and the aliens retreated, their tails between their legs. In their wake, they left the Earth battered, despoiled, even ruined, but not beaten. No, not beaten. Now, with the aliens routed and order restored, our heroes can return to their normal everyday lives. Or can they? Only time will tell.
Come toast, Kurt. You've done well. Everything's Jake for sure.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Don't sell yourself short. Those aliens never knew what hit them. A major setback for them, I'm certain.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Yes, it's all over.
I just knew it.
Mine crawler in sector 8675309.
530. Good gravy! That's Edmonton! Well, Kurt, I hope you're up to saving the world one more time, yes?
You sure are quick to send me down.
You're the man for the job. Max and I will help if we can, but for now it's up to you. Jinkies, I'm so proud.
It all starts moments after the completion of the original MDK, which was recapped in the comic book intro. Kurt is put into the action as he dives towards Earth from space. This is our first bit of gameplay, where we have to dodge lasers and homing rockets while free falling towards Earth, getting hit once and it means we have to redo the section. But after some skydiving we arrive down on the mine crawler. Here we are introduced to a short tutorial that teaches us the movement and mechanics of the game, or at least the mechanics of Kurt's gameplay, as the other characters are quite different from one and another. Let's talk a bit about the movement and aiming. For you see, in first or third person action games today the controls look a bit like this, where you move around with the left joystick. And then move the camera or aim with the other one. But what do you do when you only have one joystick like the Dreamcast controller has? I don't recall any other games, but MDK does it by looking around with the joystick, then movement are done with the A, B, X and Y buttons, which makes for a steep learning curve for someone who has played with 2 joysticks or a mouse and keyboard for the last 20 years. I spent around 11 hours beating this game, and I believe if I played it on PC, it would have been a max 4-hour game due to the controls and also added features like save anywhere and reduced difficulty that they added in other releases of the game after the first Dreamcast version. But let's continue and stop rambling. In the tutorial we learned Kurt can shoot full auto with his hand, pick up and throw bombs. We can also glide while falling, and then finally we can go into snipe mode. While in this mode we can select the type of ammo we can use if we have picked up some special ammo. And also while in this mode our movement is limited to only left and right, as the forward and backwards buttons are used for zoom. After a while the doctor teaches us that we can snipe those blue orbs that is on the door, which unlock the way, and we head out to finish the tutorial and the main game begins. We walk through some corridors and end up in a huge room with a glass wall with a hole for glory and a seductive alien laying behind it waving a target back and forth. Shooting it makes the alien rage and break down the wall, and we get to kill our first enemy. After which we run past and through some more corridors to a tall room with enemies underneath us. Here we see some spawners that continues to replace the enemies we kill if we don't take them out. There is a blue ball in this room that we snipe to open the door, and we jump and activate our parachute over the fan to float up to the door before we continue onward. After a bit we encounter some devil-looking enemies that shoot huge balls that home in on us and deals a great amount of damage. They took forever to kill, so I thought I'd try to use the cloaking device I picked up and run past them. But it turned out to be a locked door past them, so I figured I had to kill them all before it would open. But it turned out to be a hidden blue ball thing that we have to snipe to open the door. We encounter some sentry guns in the next corridor which I tried to shoot down but I couldn't, and it took my health down. And the enemies in the next room took my health down to 1, as you see in the bottom right corner, so this section was really intense. But in this room, we had to snipe a lot of those blue balls. After which a fan turned on in the center of the room and we could ascend upward, and we end up on top of the stage. Here there are some planes flying around trying to shoot us all the time, and we get some new ammo for the sniper, mortar shells. These are bombs that have quite a bit of bullet drop, and we use these to shoot into the glass domes on the next platforms to blow them up, and then we can glide from one to another. After this section we just glide to a platform with a building on it, which leads to a tunnel with some sentry guns before coming out to a big fan in the ground where we float up for what feels like an eternity before coming up and getting greeted by a big frog man, which is the boss of this stage. He locks himself in his big spaceship and fires big barrages of lasers at us. There are also 2 regular enemies at the bottom floor that constantly respawn if you try to kill them. So what we have to do, and you guessed it, snipe some more blue balls. After dying the first time, I stood back and just strafed while shooting them to dodge the lasers. The first phase has us shooting 4 balls, then the ship opens up showing another ball in the middle. After that one is taken care of we wait for a bit, and then the ship opens all the way up revealing the boss. Sniping him will make him jump out and down to us. In this last phase we just have to strafe back and forth while shooting, and his health slowly goes down. After throwing some grenades and shooting him some more he gets blown away and the battle ends before we get a cutscene of Kurt finishing his mission.
Doctor, the pilot is gone. What now?
What? What's that? Sorry, you turn your thingy up. I'm not getting a clear signal, my boy. Speak from the diaphragm.
Doctor!
Eh? What? Kurt, listen to me. I want you to lie down. Take a break. Relax.
What? I can't hear you.
I don't want to alarm you, but there's something very behind you. Look, it's conspicuous.
There's something behind... What? What?
Turn around, you fool! Ow! Whoa!
Oh, I'm just too good for my own bad self. Hello, Earth. Who's your daddy? Why, yes, I am.
Kurt! Can you hear me, my boy? Doctor, we're not getting through. Oh, nonsense. He's always been quite reasonable. Something is just blocking the signal. It's that ship.
We could destroy their power supply so they stop jamming us.
No. I've got a better plan. You should destroy their power supply so they stop jamming us. Heel? Good doggy. Now go straddle a torpedo while I figure out how to aim. I love surplus.
Next up we are playing as Max. We are sent out in space in a rocket to go take out an alien aircraft that is messing up the systems on our ship. By the way, our ship where the doctor stayed behind is called the Jim Dandy, which is just amazing. But after crashing 100 times and dodging some rocks we arrive at the alien spaceship. Max crashes through the window and knocks out the cover of the rocket and then sits up with his guns and fires at the aliens while our rocket is in no way slowing down. We end up impaling one alien before the rocket hits a wall and we begin our first stage with controls over Max. We get a short tutorial like we did with Kurt. Max has 4 arms, and can hold up to 4 guns at a time, We get one regular gun with infinite ammo and then we have to find more that has limited ammo, and they are thrown away when empty. We learn that we can shoot down walls and we find a door hidden behind one. We continue and end up in a big room with 2 glass walls on either side where we see aliens running past behind the glass. We have to shoot and break the glass and find the spawner on each side and destroy them to unlock the door. Max's health pickups are actually batteries since he is a robot, with AA batteries giving us a small health boost, and car batteries giving us a huge health boost. We continue through the level until we get to a huge open area where there is a locked door at the other side. We have to take out some more alien spawners to unlock it, that is hidden behind some ramps. In the next room we get introduced to the jetpack, which only Max can use. It can't carry that much fuel, so we have to refuel it often from these tanks of what I assume is jet fuel, and it just sprays it everywhere. But don't worry, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. We use the jetpack to fly up and we end up in room with a lot of sentry guns, that we have to take out to fly further up to another room exactly the same. There are like 10 of these and we have to fly up, kill a few guns and then go back down to refuel. Very tedious. But after that, we go and kill some more aliens on our way until we end up in this room with some aliens chilling in a sofa who is watching us. We have to platform up on these platforms while they are watching and laughing at us. We can't use our jetpack here because the only place there is a refueling station is at the top, where we fill up our tank and leave the guys in the sofa behind, and continue up into another set of what feels like 100 rooms of sentry guns. But shortly after that we reach the boss of this stage, a big ball. Here we have to shoot off its glass layers, and doing so the boss emits beams of light that damages us when they touch us. After all the glass domes are destroyed, we can damage the protective plating that is on the boss. There are multiple plates with their own health pool, and with the boss constantly spinning it makes it hard to hit the core without taking out most of the plates. But taking out the big red ball reveals a smaller ball of light we also have to take out, and that is the boss. In the third
Doctor, Max here.
Max? Oh, who's my little puppy-wuppy dingy-doggy?
Oh, Doctor, please, come on, unsecure the line.
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Report?
Mission complete. Deployment speed lacking. Must grease pelvis. Friction is distracting.
Good job, boy. You get a special treat when you come home. Now find Kurt and I'll get you both back.
Sweet mother of kibble!
Down, boy. Bad doggy.
What now? More interference? But I've no time to flush the atomics now. Fun must wait.
Well, hello. Hawkins, isn't it? Getting a little lonely.
Well, yes, actually, I miss my doggy. Well, holy dooly! Who the heck are you?
Swing. But you can call me Sir.
Well, Schwang, if that is your real name. Just you aliens wait until I get my janitor back.
You can't stop us all, Doctor.
My ship is 100% impenetrable.
Hull breach on observation deck. Intruder alert.
Well, it's 99.9% impenetrable. Oh, fudge. In the third stage of the game we play as Dr. Hawkins. When we first take control of him, we can run around the gym dandy and explore. After walking down the hallway we come to a room with 4 exits. The right one leads to the kitchen and living area where we pick up some bottles and a toaster and some bread. This is where we figure out that Dr. Hawkins can combine things he has equipped in his left hand with stuff he has in his right, and we can shoot hot toast. If we backtrack and choose another door we come to the restroom, where we pick up a bunch of dirty towels that when combined with the bottles we picked up earlier we can make Molotov cocktails. If we walk towards the toilet, a cutscene starts where after doing his business and flushing, the pipes in the wall explode and water is spraying everywhere. We pick up a pipe, and also the hand dryer that has come loose from the wall. If we combine these two then we create a leaf blower of some sort. We try to leave, but the AI of the ship won't let us leave before washing our hands since we have just used the restroom. When we enter the last room,
We are greeted by a big hallway with trees growing in some glass domes, and also aliens. They are here too, of course. Now let me tell you, toast doesn't hurt them. Took me a few tries to figure out that I had to make the leaf blower and blow them away. But that doesn't hurt them either, so how do we kill them? By blowing them into the giant plant at the end of the room, of course. After he has eaten all of the aliens, we get a little cutscene and reward from him.
My compliments, Doctor. Dinner was excellent.
Anything for you, my leafy friend?
I should return the favor, I think. That toaster will do nicely.
An atomic toaster! By Jove, now we're cooking!
We got a toaster we can actually kill enemies with. As we continue, we come to a room where the bottom is filled with water, and there is a wire at the bottom that has electrified the water. So we jump down and fall in the water a few times trying to fix the leak, only to find out that I was pressing the wrong button and we can fix it with the duct tape from the beam. When the water is drained, we can run around and pick up the extension cord, and combining it with the pipes that we got, we can make a ladder. We can only use the ladder on places where there is a square with a red X in it. Using it plays a short cutscene of the doctor climbing up to the next level. The next part of the stage is basically platforming on some beams and pipes over massive drops for half an hour with a few enemies we get to try our new toaster on. After we hippity and hoppiting over all these beams and pipes, we arrive at the rocket garage. There are quite a few rockets and spooky crates marked with radioactive warnings, and some crates that got a picture of what look like jet packs on them. We find a door and a walkway that lead to an observatory where we see some aliens in a big loading zone. We pick up a lighter and fish bowl, with a fish in it, mind you. So I spent a while trying to figure out what to do. I could finally use my Molotov cocktails now that I have a lighter, but throwing them at the radioactive boxes did nothing. There was a rocket laying down facing the wall that I had to get past, but I couldn't ignite it. But I could ignite the other ones. After learning to not play with the lighter anymore, I saw a drain in the middle of the room and used the fish there.
It's up to you, Chuckleberry Finn.
We end up playing a counterfeit copy of Echo the Dolphin, where we have to swim around in a maze to find a button. A very large maze, mind you. I think I spent at least half an hour on this. There are also these larger fish here that if they spot us, they come after us and eat us. Just look at this. This is basically a horror game at this point. But after what felt like an eternity, we find the button and the door opens up. And we use our toaster that is almost impossible to aim to take out the aliens inside. After dealing with them, we take an elevator up, and we see a huge switch on one side of the room, and then some of those devil dudes comes, and believe me, we don't want to fight them as Dr. Hawkins with his toaster. So we hit the switch.
Oh, bravo, Doctor. Now you've done it.
We are being dragged out to space, but we manage to pick up some magnets that we can equip to our feet to keep us grounded. We can also equip the empty fishbowl so we don't suffocate in the vacuum of space. We cross the space bridge while an alien ship is shooting at us. After reaching the other side, and taking an elevator up, we encounter Mr. Big Head.
Ah, Dr. Hawkins, I presume.
You there, alien interloper! Get off my ship!
Doctor, you're no match for my massive cranial capacity. The purity of my alien intellect will defeat your simian brain. Besides, I'm published in over 5,000 systems across the galaxy.
Listen here, balloons for brains. I read your paper on hydrocapacitors, and there was only one way to describe it. Boring!
Well then, how about a little schooling?
In this boss battle, there are two huge switches on either side of the room. We can arm both of them by jumping and hitting our head on them. Then if we hit the big red button, a big laser fires over the center of the room, damaging the boss. There is also a teleporter on one side that takes us to the other side, but not vice versa. The boss has 3 attacks. He throws a series of bombs that have a huge explosion radius. He yells out right brain attack, and a big shockwave shoots out across the floor that we can dodge by jumping at the right timing. He also yells out left brain attack and spawns some bugs that follow us and attack us. I found that jumping and zigzagging works effectively on dodging them. But there were times I zagged when I should have zigged. After 2 hits with the laser, he gains a shield, That takes 2 laser attacks to destroy before damaging him again. After the shield is gone, I spammed him with radioactive toast and he was safe to say, toast.
Computer, find my blasted janitor. This place is a mess.
Kurt Hectic has been located. Transferring power to teleportation relays.
Oh my. They took the suit. We're all doomed. Can I go now?
Oh, no. We're not licked yet. You're back in action, Kurt. Quickly, back you go.
But
No time for blathering, my boy. Schwang has Max.
Doc, I need a suit.
Oh, details. If he can just keep his pants on, our luck may be changing.
I will move a bit faster through the levels from this point onward to not make this video many hours long. In this stage we play as Kurt again. I have cut out almost 90% of the level, which is just rooms with enemies in them, but halfway through the stage we arrive in a huge room that has those little balls that fire light at us. After spending 10 minutes sniping most of them, we can hover up and we come to a part where we have to snipe those blue balls to make platforms that only stay up for a few seconds. After this room, we come to a section where 3 blue balls are going up and down in very tall room. If we snipe them they stop, allowing us to use our parachute over them to fly a little up in the air over them. So we have to stagger them so we can make it back and forth from one side to another like 10 times. Keep in mind this section takes about 30 minutes and there is not a checkpoint at the top. And the next room is just a hallway, nothing special. Just kidding, it is filled with sentry guns. I managed to survive the surprise attack just to arrive at the next room with 2 devil dudes wrecking me when I entered. After redoing everything and killing those devils we come to a theater, where there are some enemies who are performing. We have to kill all of them to progress, but at the time I didn't know this, and there was a new type of enemy that just wouldn't die. I spent half an hour backtracking trying to find out where to go, but it turns out if we snipe its head we kill it. And then the aliens watching jump down and we have to take them out. This is just halfway through the stage, by the way. Luckily the next rooms are mostly just kill enemies and progress, nothing too special except a room where we have to use a special sniper ammo to bounce a bullet to hit some blue balls to make a bridge. After which we enter some sort of boss arena with a house in the middle. And in that house we find Max tied up.
Max, you're okay. What's going on?
It was huge. Sneaky thing got the drop on me.
What thing?
That swang thing.
Swing? All I remember was waking up strapped half naked to a steel gurney. It was humiliating.
If he was here right now, I'd... Put me down, you overstuffed eggplant!
Speak, boy, speak.
You let go of my friend's dog.
The battle starts with us stuck in the house, and we have to shoot Schwang in the glasses to hurt him. He shoots lasers at us and also slams the ground. After about 3 shots to the glasses he backs off and the house explodes. We are now stuck on this middle island with Schwang running around on the outside. He has 3 attacks, he shoots lasers which we can avoid by strafing, he can jump onto our platform and damage us. He can also spawn some bugs on our platform that explode when they touch us. He has Max in his hand, so we have to snipe him 3 times in the hand to release Max, which joins us on the platform. After that, we can't damage him directly, but there are these levers with blue balls on them that we can snipe just before Schwang walks in front of them. Doing this 4 times is enough to take him down.
Doctor, I've got Max here. Teleport from my location.
Hello?
Doc? Is that you?
Who's my puppy?
Who is this?
Turn around, you fool!
Great. They've got the dock.
This bird's gonna fly, suckers.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Schwang's gonna make another mess. I'm always the janitor.
The next stage is a max stage. We started with him returning to the Jim Dandy in an alien ship. Here we have to avoid asteroids again while having a huge hitbox. These parts are getting a bit annoying, but at least it is not that long. At our return we see that there are 3 aliens dancing and celebrating that they've taken over the Jim Dandy, before we make our badass entry and shoot them down. The difficulty has ramped up to extreme levels by this point, and we are just halfway through the game. In this stage there is this section with some test tubes that have many floors we have to get up, so we have to activate a control panel on each floor and wait for some platforms to come and get us. And there are these new enemies that respawn 10 seconds after we kill them, and there are very few weapon and health pickups here, so believe me when I say I died a lot here. After which we run through some vents and get in jetpack. Would have been nice to gotten that a bit earlier. And a gas pump, that after a while starts floating away. It turns out that we have to fly close to it throughout this entire room so that when we get close to the end, we have enough fuel to make our way up a pipe. A little bit of running later and we get to the boss.
You need a good swat with a rolled up newspaper, you little mongrel.
Paper training's over, fathead.
Your bad master bred a bad doggy. Allow me to demonstrate who the master is. Now, play nice with the other doggy.
This boss isn't that hard. We follow him and shoot while trying to avoid his attacks. After taking about 30% of his health he gains a shield and we can no longer attack him. While he has this shield he runs inside of a room and heals about 15%, he does this about 3 or 4 times throughout the battle. I found that waiting outside the room was the quickest way to kill him, making him stay pretty close so he didn't run around the whole room every time he was gonna heal. During his last 20%, he gains a shield but this time he runs to where we started and launches heavy homing attacks at us.
Obsolete mutt. Welcome to the pound.
Max! Good to see you, my fuzzy friend. Let's get to the bridge.
Not yet. Payback must be initiated.
Well, wherever this portal leads, there's sure to be trouble. Sick 'em!
No need to tell me twice, Doc.
Better kickstart the reactors. I've work to do. Now, this is science.
We again play as the Doctor. This time Mr. Big Head Alien has planted several bombs throughout the Jim Dandy. We have to defuse them within the time limit that we are given. I'll explain at the last bomb how we defuse them as it is easier to see. But pressing a button at the wrong time leads to this. So we defuse the first bomb, get to an annoying as frick platforming part where those concrete platforms that are on the pipes falls of 2 seconds after landing. Combining oversensitive bad controls and tight platforming is not a good thing. Luckily there is a checkpoint just before this part. Right after this we reach the second bomb, nothing too hard as we defuse it pretty fast. We continue onward where our giant plant is.
That was some top-notch work with the bomb, Doc. But, could you help me?
Oh, there's too many of them, Kermit. I don't stand a chance.
This'll take the starch out of your shorts, Doctor.
Great jinkies! This looks like plutonium!
Drinking the plutonium that we were given mutates us into a huge version of Dr. Hawkins, that easily can smash enemies. But the effect only lasts about half a minute before it fades and we turn into the normal Doctor once again. After continuing from our plant bro, we come across our third bomb, this time in that horrible room where we had to ascend with Max earlier. But this time it is much calmer. But anyhow we managed to defuse the bomb after blowing up the Jim Dandy a few times. When we continue we come to yet another bomb. We get a cutscene where Mr. Big Head Alien explains that we have zero chance to defuse this one. Now I'll get into how we defuse them. On every bomb there is a reactor thingy that is the bomb. It has many blue lights and one red light with wires coming out of each section. We have to follow the wire that is connected to the red light and push the button at the end of it. Doing this will switch the red light to one of the other previous blue ones. We do this until we have hit all the buttons and defuse the bomb, which leads us back to Mr. Big Head Alien.
Oh, ooh. Well, it appears your simian brain is actually evolving.
Now, here's a little lecture on Darwinian survival!
This is our second boss battle against Mr. Big Head Alien, and this time we can't attack him with our toaster as he always has a shield up, so what we have to do is drink some plutonium to transform into our mutated self, and climb some boxes to reach the height that the boss is at. Timing a jump onto him, we are able to damage him. Doing this about 3 times removes his shield, and we can finish him off with our toaster. Safe to say after this he was toast. Again.
Such a terrible waste of intelligence. Allow me to put it to better use.
Alien homeworld coordinates received. Preparing atomic cascade.
Don't you worry, boys. Here comes a little piece of home. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Swizzle Firma. Good to be back. There's my ride now.
Hey!
Mr. Hectic, you're a long way from home.
Enough of your elusive games.
Catch me if you can, little man.
Must get Schwang. Must follow ship.
We are back to Kurt, who followed Schwang through the portal back when we saved Max. We have to follow Schwang after he jumped in a spaceship, and when the stage starts there comes another spaceship that fires upon us. We make our way inside and kill some aliens and solve some really annoying blue ball puzzles. There are these sections where there are some blue balls that are bouncing around the room you have to snipe. And believe me, this was not fun. The combination of their unpredictable movement and the travel time of the bullets made it impossible to hit them. I ended up just shooting randomly for 5 to 10 minutes before I hit one. I think there were 3 sections where we had to do this. The first one on some sort of astronomical research looking place. The second one was under some towers with sentry guns in them. And towards the end where there were like 10 ramps we had to climb up. I have skipped a lot of the level now, but we end up running outside while a spaceship is attacking us and destroying the platform we are on. After making it safely inside we come across a huge arena with some spider thing and a globe in the center. Around the room are 8 pillars. When we walk close to them we activate a door that reveals a blue ball inside. Shooting them results in a pack of enemies spawn. The first one is to small aliens and 2 of those flying light shooting dudes. The second one is a pack of those robot dudes with glass helmets that we have to headshot snipe to kill. The third is like 1,000 flying and light shooting orbs that took forever to kill. The fourth was 2 frog dudes, who basically was just like the first boss of the game. The fifth challenge was 1,000 more orbs, but stronger this time. The last one was a bunch of those short farting magic dudes. After dealing with them and running around the bottom, the last wave of enemies are a few of those devil dudes. I died a lot throughout this, and mind you, if you die towards the end here, you have to redo the whole thing. Skipping through some off the level, we end up outside, on a big platform with 2 houses on them. This turned out to be the boss battle of the stage, thankfully not as hard as the arena part was. So Shuang is piloting the ship, he drops of normal enemies once in a while constantly firing upon us. And sometimes dropping a big bomb that we have to jump over the shockwave of. His ship is littered with blue balls, which you know, Kurt loves to snipe. Hitting every one of those blue balls ends the boss battle, resulting in the ship crashing into the platform and Shuang is ejected from the aircraft.
That's twice, Schwang. Give up and leave the Earth alone.
It's nothing personal, kid. Orders from the palace.
Orders? From who?
Emperor Zizi Baluba.
It never ends, does it? One mess after another.
Oh, and the biggest mess is yet to come.
You see, we don't need to actually go to the planet. With the ultimate doomsday device, you just press a button, it slips through stream space, and wham! 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 No more Earth! G-Lab has one ready to launch. It's all over but the aiming.
This is not going well at all.
Stage 8 has us playing as Max again, running through the streets of the alien planet Swizzlefirma. We learned from the cutscene that they are about to launch a rocket that will destroy the Earth. So we have to find it and stop them. Highlights of this level includes his doorway with a no smoking sign, and of course Max always has his cigar lit. We trigger an alarm and sentry guns and sound wave shooting things attack us. After which we come to a big room with some huge computer screens suspended in the air, where we have to jump on some floating platforms to make our way up where we can shoot the wires that the screens are hanging from. Doing so will drop the screens down hitting the floor, blowing a hole in the ground, allowing us to progress. After hitching a ride on an alien aircraft, we enter an insanely huge room where we find the jetpack. You know the game, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy? Yeah, this is basically it. Luckily in this room there is some sort of new mechanic with the jetpack, allowing us to refuel automatically when we are not using it. It allows us to hover with just a slight decline in altitude over time if we are careful and time our usage. We build up momentum while falling, so waiting for it to refill more than 20% would mean that we lose a lot of altitude, meaning that we can't abuse it and fly straight up. In the next room we got more jetpack flying. This section wasn't that bad. There are these pillars that we can destroy and land on to refuel our jetpack to 100%. But I just flew halfway across the room and rested on one pillar and was able to make it the rest of the way. We enter a tunnel which leads to our good old friend Shuang.
Well, Swizzle is just crawling with vermin today.
Fine talk coming from planet crashers like you.
We have a saying here on Swizzlefirma. Too little, too late.
Not if I can help it.
The device is already set. Your Earth will be a smoking cinder. What are you gonna do about that, Fleabag?
Well, how about I do the other leg for starters?
We can see the damage now that Shuang suffered from his last encounter with Kurt. In this boss battle we have a time limit of 3 minutes to beat him. He is following us slowly on his wheelchair, while shooting us with lasers and smacking us if we get too close. We can damage him quite a bit with our guns, but it won't be enough to kill him within the time limit. So there are these buttons around the room that if we activate them at the right moment, different machines like drills, saws, lasers and crushers come out from the wall that hurt Schwang. I believe you can only use each machine once, and with just 15 seconds left I finished Schwang once and for all.
Warning! Evacuate silo area. UDM will launch in 15 phlegmons.
Better shut this thing down. Oh shit!
Max?
Huh? Oh, sure. I'm here to save you.
Great. Let's get off this gas ball. Where the heck is Doc?
So remember I complained about the second space travel section? Well, now we have an even bigger ship, the one and only Jim Dandy, that we have to fly over to where Kurt and Max are. But after crashing 100 times we make it to Swizzle Firma.
Kurt's heartbeat. Wow, that's a dead giveaway in a sea of triple valve 12-chambered cardiopulmonary monstrosities. Kurt? Kurt!
Unbelievable! Dr. Hawkins, where are you?
I'm in orbit on board the Jim Dandy. Where are you?
Outside the palace gates with Max. The Grand Emperor, Zizzy Baluba, is inside. Doc, we've got to find a way to stop him, or the Earth will never be safe.
Right you are, my boy, and I've got just the thing. There, I have a fix on the palace. I'll destroy this Zizzy with one press of a button.
Doctor, if you could teleport us up first.
Not a problem, my Kevlar-coated friend. Just a few simple console taps, and teleport come. Bleed? Oh my. Okay, Hawkins, think. Think. I have to get Max and Kurt at the palace, so I'll need a palatial locator, a dimensional destabilizer, and one of those positronic doohickey things. And a phone booth. It's brilliant! It's simple. It's science!
Jesus fricking Christ, this level is the worst thing I have experienced playing these Dreamcast games. Please help me out with liking and subscribing if you want to ease my pain with these games. So, you heard that the doctor said he needed 3 things to make a teleportation device? Well, this stage consists of basically 3 different full-length stages. I am gonna skip through a lot now, mostly rooms where we have to kill enemies, and just show the highlights of each part. First off, we come to a vertical maze thingy where we have to use ladders at the correct places to make our way up to a teleporter. Not too bad, honestly. In the next room there are this glass wall with platforms inside of them. It took me 2 tries to figure out that there are a little dude running inside of it that we have to open a path so he runs into a shredder. If he runs up to safety, an alarm triggers and an alien spawn that we have to kill. After guiding 3 or 4 of these dudes into the shredder, the door unlocks. A while later in the stage we come to a part where there is this circle of lights on the floor that spins around, and we have to time some button presses to make the red light blue. After this we get our first of 3 parts we need. On the path towards the second part, we encounter a huge maze, with a lot of traps. I don't know what to say about this maze, just understand that it was horrible. I'll throw up a simple map off it. Now the map doesn't really seem that bad, but it is riddled with traps, and the health pickups in this game is very scarce, mind you. Getting killed by a trap, that probably isn't even possible to dodge, and having to redo half the maze is just the worst feeling. Luckily this part mainly consisted of some enemy rooms in this maze, and we get our second part of the teleportation device. The next part has us walking on a bridge that constantly opening up, allowing us to fall to our doom. Doesn't seem like a particularly safe bridge in my opinion. I think there were about 3 different sections with the same type of bridges and a few rooms with enemies along this path. At the end there is a puzzle where we have to push a button, and look at the ceiling to reveal a pattern, and then from memory replicate that pattern on the switches below. And we acquire our last part of the teleportation device. When we return to the telephone box where we are going to put the pieces together, we see that some aliens are now inside of it. We have different types of bread we can use with the toaster, by the way. The baguette is a homing missile, and the last one is a grenade of some sort. After shooting inside the telephone box 3 times, this stage is finally over.
Now then, off to the palace we go. Don't just stand there, boys. We've got work to do. From now on, we've got to use our heads. A few snazzy gizmos and we're home free.
Doc, I'd rather get in and out before we're even noticed.
I'm tired of being subtle. Let's put this sissy down. Here, Max. We don't want to go in barking mad. It wouldn't be safe. Safer than most of your inventions.
Can't argue that.
Huh! Short-sighted buffoons! Oh, that's it!
Bring it on, Fuzzy! I have had it with both of you!
Is this the end of our xenophobic trio? Will Zizzy the Alien Emperor go undefeated? Who do you think is right for the job? Make the choice.
For stage 10, we get the option of which of the 3 character we want to play as. From all of the previous stages, I felt that the levels with Max were the easiest, and wanting to get this game behind me as quick as possible, I chose him. After reading some guides, I do believe that he has the easiest time with this stage, meaning that I am glad as fuck that I chose him, because this level took 3 hours to complete. Not because it is long, it is very short in fact. We enter the palace through the front doors, fight a few enemies that spawn in waves, no big deal. Then we make our way through the corridors of the palace. Then we get out to the beautiful courtyard, walk up some stairs and then hippity-hoppity onto a ledge and make our way down a random corridor at the back of the balcony, I guess you would call it. Here there are 2 devil dudes who guard our way. After we kill them, we meet up with the gang.
Max, Dr. Kurt! I can't believe it took you this long to get here! Mildly amusing and often boring.
Are you implying that our hardship has been for your entertainment?
Oh, I had to let you win a few, just to keep it interesting.
Yeah, sure. You let us win.
Of course, you see, after one figures out space and time, there isn't much left to fill the void but entertainment. Otherwise, I'd sit here bored in my boudoir.
You invaded Earth for your own amusement? You pompous sea monkey!
Mild amusement. Don't start getting an ego. But the game is over. Thanks for playing.
What about us?
It's over.
That's what you think! Ooh. Come on, let's wipe the smile off his face.
This is the last boss of the game, a pretty random character that we haven't met at all throughout the story. It would have been better if he had put on Chuang's glasses or something and became a version of him or something, since he has been the main protagonist throughout the game. But anyhow, this boss battle consists of 2 phases. This first one, we are in this room with extra guns all around. He has a few different attacks. He can shoot lasers at us from his staff, and he can send out waves of these huge blue walls that we have to run around. He can spawn these laser things that zoom across the ground in unpredictable patterns, and lastly he can hypnotize us if we don't look away when he does. Make our camera spin around for 10 seconds. The second phase starts when we have depleted his health. He then sucks us up and we end up inside of him. Now this is the really fucked up annoying part. We have to destroy all of his organs, both lungs, liver, kidneys I believe, his heart, his brain and both of his fucking eyes. When we attack them, we notice that they regain health over time pretty fast and they have quite a bit of health. So the developers thought it would be good to add 2 enemies that constantly respawns and knocks you back when they hit you, so that the organs regains their health while you are trying to destroy them. And the worst part is, you only get to stay inside of the boss for about 30 seconds before you are spit back out and have to redo the entire phase 1. Thankfully the organs that you destroyed remains destroyed when you re-enter him. Except the eyes, if you only take out one, both are back the next time for some reason. By the way, there is no checkpoint in this stage. If you die, like I did like 15 to 20 times, you have to restart the whole level. I think in my final attempt I had to do enter him 6 times to take out all of the organs and finally end the fight.
Fade to black.
Yes, it's all over.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
It was Max that put an end to Zizibaluba, and though honored to serve humanity, he found the usual pat on the head to be an exceptionally unfulfilling reward. Max the hero could not return to servitude. He needed a fresh start, and where better than the conquered Swizzle Firma to carve his future? So began the reign of Max. His firm leadership built a strong and disciplined empire, one that the Earth welcomed as ally and partner. As Max said, it was in everyone's best interests. Humanity's best friend to the end. Good dog, Max. Good dog indeed.
This was MDK2. I went into the game expecting a good time. I played this game as a kid, but I don't think I ever got past the 3rd stage. The difficulty ramps up a lot after that, so it makes sense that I couldn't get any further back then. Looking back on this playthrough, it is an extremely hard game, at least for the Dreamcast version of it. The later versions allow you to save anywhere and also either have 2 analog sticks or mouse and keyboard, which would make it a lot faster and easier to play through it. I honestly think that this game is the most difficult game that I've completed so far. For the next game up, it is going to be another long one, and one that I have wanted to play for a long time. I think I have to make it into 2 or 3 parts. It is Skies of Arcadia, and I am done with playing through what will be part 1 of the videos at this time. It will take some time to write the script and edit together the video, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. I am still a small YouTube channel with 61 subscribers as of making this video, so a like and a comment about what game you would like a recap of would really help me out, and it would mean the world to me. Stay safe and have a good day.